Nobody's hitting. Ellsbury takes a strike, and we're underway. So again, it's Ellsbury, Victorino, and Pedroia against the right-hander, 6'8", 200-pounder Doug Fister, 29 years old, from Merced, California. Traded to the Tigers in 2011. He's been really good here. Strike two. Fister may not have the dynamic stuff of the guys who got the ball over the first 3 games, but he knows how to pitch. Making his 7th career postseason start with the Tigers. Just inside. Fister put that in a good spot. Ball 1.
Notice how many check swings all pitchers have had over the first 3 games. That's because of late breaking stuff. Ellsbury held up.
Here's a 1-2. Hard hit right at Infante. 1 away. Okay, so nobody's hitting. We get it. Here tonight's Ford Keys to the game.
Well, you know, I don't think I've ever seen half innings in script. Where's the offense? 47 of 54 half innings in the first 3 games. There were no runs scored. Only 7 half innings were runs scored.
And between these 2 clubs, the top 2 scoring teams in baseball, we've had 2 1-0 games in the 3 we've played, and they've all been 1-run affairs. That's why it's been so fun. We hope to talk to Justin Verlander tonight from the dugout. He was great in yesterday's effort in game 3. 8 innings, 10 strikeouts, 1 run, 4 hits. Not good enough. Victorino with a count of 1-1.
Doug Fister can feature a bevy of sinking fastballs in on right-handers, and we have seen Victorino not be able to get out of the way of the ball in the postseason.
He pops it up right side for Fielder in foul ground. 2 out. Home plate umpire tonight is Alfonso Marquez, joined by Dale Scott, Dan Iasonia. Joe West is the crew chief over at third. Rob Drake down the left field line, and Ron Kolpa, who worked the plate yesterday, is in right. We had that quick shot from our director Bill Webb of John Lackey, and tonight's starter for the Red Sox was quoted all over the paper saying it was almost like Verlander was pitching against nobody with all the focus on Verlander. Nobody talked about Lackey, and John Lackey turned in his most important and his best start in his time with the Red Sox yesterday.
Nobody won a very big game for the Red Sox yesterday.
Yeah, Mr. Nobody. Here's a base hit into right off the bat of Pedroia. 1 on, 2 out. Just fought it off and flared it over the head of Infante, and the first inning continues for David Ortiz. He's 1 for 10, but I would say he made the 1 count. He's got 1 hit in this ALCS. Napoli has 1 hit in this ALCS. Saltalamacchia has 1 hit in this ALCS, and they all basically defined the 2 wins for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Ortiz takes a strike from Fister on a breaking ball. Here they are. David Ortiz 1 for 10. Salty, as they call him, 1 for 8. Napoli 1 for 8. Napoli the game-winning home run yesterday. The walk-off base hit for Saltalamacchia on Sunday night after Ortiz tied it in the 8th. We've been watching him spit into his batting gloves and slap his hands together since the world became aware of him in the postseason in 2003. Chop to the right side. Infante gets a true high and gets the out. Red Sox leave a man. Bottom of the first, Jake Peavy first LCS start. Headed to the mound, no score.
And that's why he took it.
Now Prince Fielder. Ooh, chops one left side. Middlebrooks gets the true hop, and it's a perfect first inning for Jake Peavy. Another scoreless frame put. Pfister gave up a 2-out base hit to Pedroia, then got Ortiz to bounce out. It's Napoli, Nava, and Saltalamacchia. Napoli homered against Verlander yesterday, and that was it for the scoring. That's inside. Tigers left 7 on. And 2 big strikeouts, one by Tazawa of Cabrera, the other by Uehara of Fielder. The Tigers threatening in the 8th. That's outside, 2-1.
Saw the eyes of Jake Peavy, the eyes of Doug Pfister. Not too bad either. Carrying between the glove and the cap. Jim Leyland saying these guys may get beat tonight, but you're seeing 2 of the great competitors in baseball.
That's off the glove of Cabrera and down the left field line. Napoli will think about 2 and push it to second with a leadoff double.
Remember when Victorino was up, we talked about Pfister's penchant for coming inside to right-handed batters. He did to Napoli. Napoli got the bat head out, and Cabrera couldn't get the glove up far enough.
That's only the 3rd time in this series that the Red Sox have put their leadoff man on. And it's a double to start this second inning.
This the 29th inning.
It's Daniel Nava. Did not play yesterday. He advances the runner as Infante makes the play 1 out. Over at third is Napoli with 1 out, and Saltalamacchia coming up.
I think Jared Saltalamacchia is the toughest out that Pfister has to face in the Boston Red Sox lineup tonight. He's a great low ball hitter, and for Pfister to be effective, he has to keep the ball down.
Probably one of the reasons why Saltalamacchia is 5 for 11 lifetime against Pfister. Infield is in. Napoli does not possess great speed. He's the runner at third. Ball 1 floats away from Pfister. Red Sox are now 8 for 75 against the Tigers starters in this series, but they have a chance here in the second to grab a lead.
The great Ralph Kiner used to say, with the infield in, makes a racehorse out of a mule. You got a racehorse hitting right here.
Saltalamacchia ready for a 1-0 pitch from Pfister. A pop-up. Third base side. 2 out. And a missed chance for Saltalamacchia here in the second.
Saltalamacchia over anxious. I believe that was a splitter. Pfister features the sinker. He'll cut the ball. I think that was a splitter that was up, not designed where it was supposed to be. And Saltalamacchia very anxious. Fouls out to Cabrera.
It brings in Stephen Drew. The Red Sox try to take advantage of the leadoff double. Drew is 1 for 9 without an RBI in this LCS. He has just 2 RBIs this postseason. Big out picked up by Pfister. Out in front of it is Drew. Strike 1.
One thing to look for, Pfister had 7 wild pitches this year. That pitch down, the curve's got to be down. That sinker goes down. Sinker very difficult to handle for Avila.
One ball, 1 strike. Stephen Drew is looking for the 2-out RBI hit. The 253 during the regular season, drove home 67. That's strike two. See more football mentality with these Red Sox with Arnie Baylor and Brian Butterfield. Even the coaches are involved. Headbutt from Napoli. That is in the dirt, and that's exactly what you were talking about. Avila down to block it 2-2.
You have to keep the curveball down for it to be effective. Good play by Avila.
Runner at third, 2 out, and a 2-2 count. Got him, and the inning is over. Pfister gets around the leadoff double. And yesterday's starter, Justin Verlander, approves. No score after 1.5. Tigers, Martinez, Peralta, Avila. After Peavy had a perfect first. Victor Martinez takes a strike. He and Peralta have been the biggest threat swinging the bat for the Tigers. Victor's 4 for 11. Peralta 5 of 12 so far in this ALCS. Saltalamacchia gives the sign, and the breaking ball drops low, ball 1. The 1-1 pitch. Victor Martinez takes a strike on the outside part.
We talked with John Farrell about Peavy pitching one corner to the other corner. He said, I just hope he doesn't leave anything in the middle of the plate. So far, he hasn't early.
Still 1-2. Peavy was a 15th round pick by the Padres in '99. His best year was 19-6 in 2007. He won the Cy Young. Traded to the White Sox in 2009. Never won more than 11 games with Chicago. This July came to the Red Sox. Pitching later in the month of October than he ever has. You see Jake Peavy almost straining in to see the sign from Saltalamacchia. That previous time when he stepped off and Victor Martinez stepped out. There's a base hit in the left off the bat of Martinez. And the leadoff man is on. For more on Saltalamacchia and Peavy, let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Well, Joe, Tim knows this. Catchers often paint their fingernails white during night games so they can help their pitchers see signs. Well, Saltalamacchia has taken it a step further with Peavy because of Peavy's terrible vision. Peavy is 2300 without corrective lenses, 20/40 with corrective lenses. So Salty started wearing these stickers on his fingernails to help Peavy see the signs. John Lester liked them too, and now Saltalamacchia wears them for all of the Red Sox starters.
That's inside. Thank you, Kenny.
Very fashionable.
Whatever it takes.
Right.
Peralta in the number 5 spot. That's typically where we've seen Victor Martinez. Just joining us, Jim Leyland has rearranged his lineup, his batting order. Here's a 1-0, 2-0. see that earlier. He's fighting it, trying to pick up the sign from Saltalamacchia. Calls for the slider. And it's 3-0.
Johnny Peralta is a pull hitter, and for that reason, look where Dustin Pedroia is, cheating more than he normally would towards second base. Try to turn the double play. Peralta rarely hits it to the right side. Huge hole over there.
That's low for ball 4. These fans desperate for a rally have 2 on, nobody out in front of him with Avila digging his way in.
What is Saltalamacchia doing? He's giving signs in case the runners run, which is doubtful with Avila and no speed on the bases.
Two guys who've been doing damage this postseason, and there's Jared going through those signs. Martinez and Peralta present the RBI chance. The Tigers are waiting for somebody to get an RBI and take advantage of it. It's Avila. Strike 1. Alex 3 out of 10 in this ALCS, a career 147 hitter during the postseason. Alex with a home run in game 2 on Sunday night. Now Peavy has to step off. If it's an issue with nobody on or a runner at first, it's really work for Peavy to pick up the sign from Saltalamacchia with a guy at second. After a long look in, he finally just stepped off. He's ready with the 0-1. Breaking ball stays outside.
What Joe just said, the reason for that is with a man on second base, particularly a former catcher, you want to give a different sequence of signs so he can't pick it up and relay it to the hitter.
Here's a 1-1. Strike 2.
Good sinker. Most guys who are trying to get ground balls will keep the ball away from a left-handed hitter. You don't entice ground balls by pitching guys inside.
Smothered by Saltalamacchia, 2-2. Told you Pfister is a ground ball pitcher. Peavy is the opposite, 45%. The balls in play are fly balls off Peavy. Way outside for ball 3.
Runners will not be running here. Avila, percentage-wise, struck out more than anybody on the Detroit team this year. Percentage-wise.
That's a foul ball.
Well, Peavy gets a ground ball, but it's off the right foot of Alex Avila. Alex probably thinking, I take enough of a beating behind the plate. I don't want that to continue at the plate. Baseball pedicure, not that much fun.
Off the end of the right shoe.
Where your toes are.
Yeah. They go in first. Three and two the count, 2 on, nobody out here in the second. That'll load him up.
What a marvelous at bat by Alex Avila.
Now it's Infante. Out to talk is Saltalamacchia. And the rest of the infielders, except for Napoli at first, join in the conversation. So it's Infante now in the number 7 spot. Remember, Austin Jackson is batting 8th. He'll be on deck.
Take a look at that gritty at bat. Avila gets in the hole in a hurry with a count 1 and 2. 2 and 2. Fastball way outside. Foul ball. Foul ball off the right foot. Ball 4. Great at bat.
Bases loaded for Omar Infante. Ball 1.
Victor Martinez telling Infante to make him get the ball up. Infante may know that. Martinez just reinforcing it.
Good pitch, strike 1. The Tigers won game 1, 1-0. They were up 5-1 in game 2 going into the bottom of the 8th inning. Then the grand slam by Ortiz with 2 out to tie it. Since then, coming in, they had hit 146. The Tigers. No run, 6 hits. They have 1 hit and 2 walks in this inning. Shallow center. Ellsbury coming on, and a nice catch for out number 1. Nobody can advance.
Victor Martinez could have advanced were he tagging up, but the ball is so shallow that Martinez had to go halfway. Watch him go halfway, making sure, because normally if he makes the catch, there's no way to score. Victor not a fast runner. And a brilliant play by Ellsbury, who had a long way to run for that play.
And so now here's Austin Jackson. And if you're Austin Jackson, who's moved out of the leadoff spot and who handled it great, I mean, he doesn't have any options. He's happy just to be in the lineup. But you've had trouble making contact. You've struck out 18 times this postseason. And now here early with your team down 2-1, you're up. With the bases loaded, 1 out. Ball 1.
You can erase the first 3 games with 1 swing.
The bigger point is you can put whoever you want in any spot in the order, but you just don't know when it's going to fall down to one particular at bat. And right now it's Austin Jackson. With the bases loaded, 1 out. Up on the count, 2-0. One thing Jim Leyland didn't have to worry about was how Austin Jackson was going to take the news But he was going to bat 8th for the first time in his big league career. Came into the clubhouse smiling. He's smiling bigger with a hit here. And he's up on the count 3-0.
Telling us before the game that Jim Leyland knows what he's doing.
Peavy's already walked 2 in the inning. That forces home a run and gives Austin Jackson the RBI. 1-0 Detroit in the second.
Juan Nieves, the pitching coach, out to talk to Peavy. Highly uncharacteristic of Jake Peavy to walk 3 in an inning. Still only 1 out. 4 straight balls to Jackson.
Peavy walked only 36 all year. He walks 3 in the inning. And the Tigers, who lost here in frustrating fashion yesterday, 1-0, lead 1-0, and have a chance for a big inning. Here's Iglesias. Bases loaded, 1 out. Hard hit. Pedroia kicks it. They get 1. That's all they'll get. And Napoli saves a run. 2-0 Detroit on the force out and into by Iglesias.
Boy, a skittish infield right here. Normally dependable Dustin Pedroia. Ball behind him. Normally dependable Stephen Drew. And Napoli, you're right, saves a run. Could have gotten out of the inning with 1 run given up. There are 2 runs. And Detroit with runners at the corner. Great play by Napoli to save that run, and Pedroia miffed. You don't see him normally do that.
Now runners at the corners for Torrey Hunter with 2 out. Avila at third. Iglesias at first. Strike 1.
Stephen Drew was nowhere near the bag at second base, but the neighborhood play, normally a second base umpire, Dan Iasonia, this evening. Very liberal right there, and middle infielders get that break so they don't get hurt.
Hard hit down the line. 3-0. Iglesias all the way from first. They wave him home. It's 4-0.
Torrey Hunter driving in 2. What a dreadful inning for the Red Sox. Double play would have gotten him out of the inning with only 1 run. And now Detroit scored at least 4.
Now Cabrera, runner at second, 2 out. Three walks in the inning. Big 2-out, 2-run double hit by Torrey Hunter after the missed chance on the double play ball that was hit by Iglesias. Red Sox couldn't turn it. A run scored on the play, and then Torrey Hunter knocked in the next 2. Here's the 0-1. Brandon Workman, the right-hander, getting loose. Red Sox have two guys who would fall into the category of long relievers out in their pen with Ryan Dempster and Felix Dubron. Counts 0-2 on Cabrera. They're at second, 2 out. Into center field. That's a base hit. Hunter will score without a play, and it's 5-0 Detroit.
Detroit shut out last night, going for the throat this evening.
Now it's Prince Fielder. Pedroia, who came within a bobble of ending this inning as a one-run frame. They couldn't turn it. And the Tigers took care of the rest. It's a 5-run second and a 5-0 lead for Detroit in Game 4. Last at bat by Ellsbury, who put a charge into that ball in right. Guy who hit .298 during the regular season in this ALCS. He's been struggling to hit anything hard. 2 balls and a strike. Now 2-2. Victorino, part of a team that won it all with Philadelphia in 2008. Seven of 26 in this postseason. A check on Ellsbury.
Shane Victorino very upset when Charlie Manuel of the Phillies was let go a couple of months ago. Ryan Sandberg, the Hall of Famer, finally getting a shot to manage the Phillies.
Breaking ball, chop foul.
That goes on all the time.
Starting pitcher Jake Peavy on the left, the catcher Jared Saltalamacchia on the right. Breaking ball struck him out.
Victorino thought that ball was high, that it went over the letters when it had crossed home plate. And it looked like it may have. Maybe the top of the strike zone. Pitchers don't get high curveballs like that, but Fister did.
Alfonso Marquez, you can hear him yelling into the dugout, that's enough. They're letting Marquez have it from the Red Sox dugout. Talked countless times about how a dugout can't see in and out with a strike zone, but they can see up and down.
Yeah, right.
Fister does not get the call on the first pitch to Pedroia, who singled his first time. Pedroia is obviously a home run threat. The power numbers down. This year he hit 9 home runs. Cabrera backed up at third base. The Red Sox have not tested Miguel Cabrera trying to drop one down yet in this ALCS. Ortiz on deck. That's ball 3, 3-0.
Oh boy, you don't want to walk Pedroia with the guy on deck. His only hit of the series, a grand slam. And he has power on the low fastball.
And he's got a flair for the dramatic.
He certainly does.
3-1. Third inning, but the Red Sox trying to jump back into game 4. 5-run second. Put up by the Tigers. That's outside, and Pfister has done exactly that. First walk of the night. Puts 2 on, 2 out with David Ortiz coming up. And why do we say it? 0-4 ALCS Game 4 walk-off home run in the 12th inning. 0-4 Game 5 walk-off single in the 14th. 2013 Game 2, the game-tying grand slam in the 8th. And that was the first grand slam hit in the postseason game to tie a ball game in the 8th inning or later. Only in the 3rd, the Red Sox need a jolt. Ball 1 down and away to Ortiz.
Yeah, the thing about David, he's got power the other way. He's like Cabrera in that regard. He can hit the ball out and left, just like he can in right.
David Ortiz bounced out to second his first time up. He's up on the count here, 2-0. Ortiz with 54 RBIs in his postseason career as Avila goes out to talk. That's 5th highest all time. Obviously with more opportunities now with more layers to the playoffs.
Can you imagine how many RBIs Mickey Mantle would have had he played when you have to win 11 games instead of 4?
Here's a 2-0. That's a strike. Good speed on for Boston. This big outfield. That can factor in. Ellsbury and Pedroia with 2 out. The 2-1. 2-2.
That's a good pitch right there. Breaking ball in a fastball count. Totally fooling Ortiz. He was geared for the fastball, got the curve, and fouled it off.
Two on, 2 out, 2-2 the count. High and tight, and the runners will go. Ellsbury a 1-out single. Pedroia the 2-out walk. Setting it up for David Ortiz. 15 career postseason home runs. Right side and right to Infante to end the inning. Red Sox strand a couple. They've left 4 already. Game number 4 goes into the bottom of the 3rd. Detroit down 2-1, leading it 5-0. Yeah. Dugout. How's the mood down there now, Justin?
It's pretty good, man. We got a bunch of veterans, and you know, we don't let anything get us down. This is baseball. You never know what's going to happen the next day, so you got to be able to turn the page.
Where were those runs last night?
Man, it doesn't matter about last night. Like I said, you got to turn the page. It would have been nice to get some, but you know what? Doug's looking good. We got him some runs early, so hopefully we win this one.
Yeah, we were talking about Pfister. I mean, he doesn't have the dynamic stuff. Man, this guy is smart, and he knows how to pitch.
Very much so. It's really impressive to watch him. You know, there was a point last year, I think he struck out 9 guys consecutively. And, I mean, it's just unbelievable to watch. He really knows how to pitch, back and forth, up and down. Big breaking ball that you saw there to Poppy, and you know, it's fun to watch.
How is this Red Sox lineup right now to pitch to? I mean, we've all been talking and glowing about the the job you guys have done as starters, but this group pitching to them, if you had to do it in a sentence or two, what would you say?
You know, it's a grind. You know, every one of these guys are professional hitters. They work at bets. They work pitch count. You know, it's you got to be on your game and never let up. There's no breather in this lineup. And you know, I'm always a believer, of course I am, that good pitching beats good hitting. So you know, you just execute your pitches no matter who's in the batter's box. You got a good chance to get them out.
But it is a factor, Justin, because it's why Sanchez only went 6 in game 1. It's why Scherzer came out as Martinez checks on Drew. Bad throw, but out. It's why Scherzer only went 7 in game 2, and it's you had a long night going 8 here in game 3. That's something you have to be aware of.
Yeah, I mean, you're aware of it, but there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, the only way to combat that is just to be aggressive in the strike zone. You got to make those guys swing the bat. Otherwise, you're in for a long night.
We were kidding Justin Verlander in the clubhouse before the game, and I called him quick feet with Jacoby Ellsbury on first base last night. You actually looked in the dugout and asked Jeff Jones what your time was. No, have you ever done that before? Do you do it normally?
No, it's not normally, but you know, in the postseason, every run is crucial, especially you know, in that type of ball game. So I just wanted to do everything I possibly could not to let him advance to second base. And obviously, he's got 50-some steals on the year. You know, he's he's a threat every time he's on first base. So I just wanted to make sure I was quick enough to give Alex a shot to throw him out if he decided to go.
The count is 2-0. For those of us or those viewers who may wonder what is a good time to get the ball to the plate.
1-3 is usually pretty good. I know Doug's really good. He's like 1 flat, and I think I was around 1-1 yesterday when I was trying to be quick.
There's Peralta grounding to Drew. It's another chance to throw, and this time he's dead on. The other thing I saw you do, Justin, was keep a guy off balance. It was Ellsbury again, and the way you threw over and didn't really allow him to get his lead or get set off the base. That was unique.
Yeah, you know, just being quick. You know, just kind of keep him uncomfortable, make it tough for him to get out and get his lead. You know, and just kind of disrupt his timing a little bit. Those are, you know, just little things you can try to do to disrupt the running game. You know, there's not much you can do with a guy like Jacoby. You do whatever's in your power, but if he gets a good jump, most likely he's going to get the bag.
So did you put your head on the pillow last night, satisfied with your effort yesterday, or was the score more in your head?
No, I mean, obviously, as a starting pitcher, you kind of live and die with that. You know, run support, you know, you need it to win. But our job is to go out there and give our team a chance to win. Unfortunately, I had to throw up all zeros yesterday to do so. Wasn't able to do that. Napoli had one heck of a bat on me. But, you know, like I said, it's kind of been the theme of our clubhouse. Turn the page. You know, this is a new day. We got a great ball club. These are the 2 best teams in the American League. It's going to be a juggernaut. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a boxing match. We're going to take blows back and forth. So, you know, today's our turn, hopefully.
I think the only question left is, were you able to trade Justin Blackmon before the game off your fantasy football roster?
No, I still got him. I got Randall Cobb's hurt, so Blackman's going to be my starting lineup. He's like treasure for me right now.
He's your little secret weapon.
Yeah.
On the winless Jaguars. Hey, thanks for your time. As always, nobody does the old dugout interview better than you, and it was fun watching you pitch yesterday.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Make you get some camera time.
Yeah, well.
Like he needs it.
Yeah, like he needs it, I was going to say. Thanks,
right,
Justin.
Yeah.
2 out, nobody on, 2-1 the count on Avila. Verlander would get the ball against John Lackey as it stands now if there's a game 7 at Fenway. Here's a 2-1. 2-2. Peavy trying to bounce back after that long second. Game 5 tomorrow is John Lester and Anibal Sanchez. They were so good in game 1. Travel day Friday, then Saturday, if necessary, Scherzer and Buchholz. Sunday, if necessary, Verlander and Lackey. It's pretty good. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on. Avila takes ball 3. Avila trying to get on. He drew a walk his first time, part of the 3-walk second inning for Peavy. And the 5-run inning. Just flips it into left, back to make the play as Nava. And the Tigers go 1-2-3 in the 3rd. You heard Verlander talking about Miggy won some airtime, some camera time. We're through 3 in game 4. 5-0 Tigers. He playing the 4th. And Napoli takes ball 1. Napoli doubled leading off in the 2nd. Nava moved him over. Then Saltalamacchia fouled out. Stephen Drew struck out. And the Tigers went to work in the bottom of that inning. There's Nava, then Saltalamacchia will follow. 1 ball, 1 strike. Beard that started growing in spring training. He didn't like the call, and now he's in the hole 1-2.
That's that tailing fastball. Stephen Drew was called out on a similar pitch. That's that movement. You think it's going to be outside. Comes back at the end. Late break.
Too far outside. 2-2. How about more on that Beard?
They call this the siesta.
Napoli gets Verlander. Count stays 2-2. Said, yeah, you look at the pulling of the Beard. That is not fun, and it hurts. And when guys are pumped up after a home run or they're celebrating, I mean, they give those beards a yank. Here's a 2-2. Strikeout starts the inning. 4th of the night for Fister. Here's a little more on the beards of the Red Sox.
They call this one Ironsides.
The Saltine.
They call this one the Wolf.
Both teams are filled with guys with personalities.
Yes. Just saw Justin Verlander, and he's one of them.
Fister brings home a strike to Nava. We had a chance to visit with Fister during yesterday's game. He's about as even-keeled a guy, picking up photography, going around ballparks during the course of the year, getting shots when the parks are empty. Something to pass the time.
Yeah, he's the casual tourist.
Got great shots at Fenway Park on Sunday night prior to game 2. That's a foul tip. There were some obviously unbelievable still frame shots of that grand slam with all that happened. The pitch, the ball leaving the bat of Ortiz, Torrey Hunter tumbling over the wall and right, what was going on in the bullpen, the police officer out there.
Manny Martinez, the bullpen catcher, catching the ball.
One out, nobody on. The 0-2. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the 4th for Fister.
Good curveball out of the strike zone down to Nava.
Some serious break on that curveball from Fister. It was a 7th-round pick by Seattle in 2006. Came up with the Mariners in 2009. It was 3-12 with Seattle in 2011 when they traded Doug Fister as Saltalamacchia takes a strike here to Detroit. He went 8-1 down the stretch, 2-1 that postseason, 32-20 overall with an ERA of 3.29 with the Tigers.
it's a real microcosm of this game, but the biggest difference between Pfister and Peavy, first pitch strikes. Pfister has done it, Peavy hasn't. It's the biggest pitch in the game. First pitch strike. And it's more important now with hitters trying to drive a pitcher's pitch count up.
The Red Sox are better at that than any team in baseball. And that's just consistently been the case. Really, since Terry Francona took over, Epstein was the GM. That's off the end of the bat. And a full count. Theo is now in Chicago with Jed Hoyer, and Terry Francona had a great first year managing the Indians. They finished just a game out behind Detroit in the Central. Here's a 3-2. That is in the gap in right center field. It will get down for a 2-out single.
Even with a 5-0 lead, Doug Pfister throwing a 3-2 curveball in a fastball count. Good hitting by Saltalamacchia. He waits, squares it up, and gets the 4th hit. A picket fence of hits for the Red Sox, 1 in each inning, the first 4.
So Saltalamacchia is on, and Stephen Drew, who hit 13 home runs during the regular season, takes a strike. Strike 2. Drew struck out his first time. That was with a runner at third and 2 out. The Red Sox stranded Napoli after he had led off with a double. The 0-2. Just got a piece.
Pfister has said, my job is to get ground balls. If they find a hole, so be it. Use my defense, especially on the infield.
He has struck out 5. Drew gets into one to right, but got under it. Hunter glides over and has it. 4 shutout innings put up by Doug Pfister, and as we go to the bottom half here in Detroit, game 4, 5-0, Tigers on top. It loaded the bases with nobody out. Infante flied to shallow center. Ellsbury made a nice running catch, but then a walk to Jackson forced home a run. Iglesias hit what could have been a double play ball right at Pedroia, who couldn't handle it cleanly. Went for an RBI force out, then a 2-run double by Hunter, and an RBI single by Cabrera. Made it 5-0. That's where we are right now. 1-2 on Infante. We had a chance to visit with John Farrell, the manager for the Red Sox, during the break. Get to that after Infante does something to start this 4th. In the air to left. Back is Nava on the run over his head. 1 hop over the wall. And a stand-up double to start the 4th for Omar Infante. Looked like a hanging breaking ball.
Yep. That backup slider we talked about earlier just sits there. When a pitcher like Peavy gets under it That's what causes it to hang. And we've said it many, many times, catchers don't catch those pitches very often.
Now it's Austin Jackson. Came up in a key spot in the second after Infante had flied out. Bases loaded, 1 out, still scoreless. And he drew a 4-pitch walk for his first RBI of this series. Ball 1 inside.
Mike Napoli at first base looking for the bunt. Tigers do not sacrifice a lot, nor do the Red Sox, nor do many teams in the American League.
Action again for the Red Sox in their bullpen. We saw Workman up earlier. That's inside, 2-0.
Austin Jackson's probably thinking, don't see many strikes to the 8th place hitter. 4 straight balls his first time up, and 2 this time up.
That's Workman and DuPont with a 2-0 count on Jackson. Out of play. Austin 3 for 33 with 18 strikeouts during this postseason. So when he got to the ballpark this afternoon, he saw his name in the 8th spot in the lineup for the first time in his big league career. The 2-1. Right side, off the glove of Pedroia. They're going to bring the runner Infante to the plate to make it 6-0.
Great instincts by Omar Infante and good hitting by Jackson. We'll see if that's going to be scored an error. It's a base hit. It should have been. Off the heel of Pedroia's glove. Ball hit very, very hard. And Infante off with the crack of the bat, scoring easily.
Tom Brookins sent home Infante. And that swing by Austin Jackson produces his second RBI of the night and the end of the night for Jake Peavy here in Game 4. 3 walks, a strikeout. And Brandon Workman takes over with DuPont still getting loose for the Red Sox out in their pen. Here's Iglesias.
In Game 2, Brandon Workman got 3 important outs. Felix DuPont had 4 important outs that kept the game in tow for David Ortiz to hit the grand slam to tie it.
Showing bunt and pulling back successfully from a breaking ball down and away. Iglesias, the number 9 hitter, the guy who hit that hot shot to Pedroia in the 5-run second. Got an RBI. There goes Jackson. Throw down by Saltalamacchia, too late. And Jackson on base for the second time finally gets to run and steals his first base of the postseason.
You can see Iglesias squaring around, pulled the bat back, took the pitch, and Jackson with a stolen base. Great jump. The look back to see what Iglesias was doing. Watch him look back right there.
Now runner at second, nobody out, in a 6-0 game, and the bunt is perfect. Got him at first. Iglesias didn't agree. Workman made a good play, and over third goes Jackson.
Brandon Workman did all he could to barehand it and throw a strike to first.
Good call by Dale Scott.
Yeah, that was a very tough call. I think there was a misstep in Iglesias' gait. right before he got to first base. Thought he was safe, but just out. Good call.
Now the infield comes in. Runner at third, one out. Back to the top for Torrey Hunter. Torrey with a 2-run double and a run scored in the 5-run second. Strike one. So the reshuffling in this lineup, which will be talked about all night long on the highlight shows tomorrow in the clips, has produced this. Here's the 0-1. Back to Workman. What a play. Saved a run, 2 out.
Well, you just saw 2 back-to-back plays by a pitcher. You won't see better plays than this. Tough play. Caught that ball behind him. Looked the runner back. That was after the bare hand pickup of the bunt. That's good work.
Hunter thought he had his 3rd RBI of the night. Now runner at third, 2 out. Cabrera grounds right side, base hit. 7-0 Tigers. All 7 runs on the record of the starter, Jake Peavy.
Cabrera had 137 RBIs this year, and he has 2 in this game.
It's the first multi-hit game for Miguel Cabrera this postseason. Breaking ball is a strike to Prince Fielder. So that's what's happened. And Tim, if you were a betting man, how do you think the lineup will look for Game 5 tomorrow night for Jim Leyland?
Can't change a winner.
Still a long way to go in this one, but finally a breakout night offensively. They did score 5 in Game 2. They've got 7 tonight. The count's 1-1 on Fielder. Prince, the only Tiger tonight to not reach base. He's grounded out twice. Strike 2. Let's get down to Ken Rosenthal.
Well, Joe, Jim Leyland was at his feisty, humorous best in his pregame news conference. He acknowledged the lineup was a little bit of a shocker, but said he wanted to churn up the butter. He said, you can say I'm nuts, you can say I'm dumb, you can say whatever you want. It gives you something to write about, and I will be willing to answer questions after the game.
In his 8th season here in Detroit, 22nd season managing in the big leagues. Trying to shake up and wake up this offense for the Tigers, and it's worked tonight. So has Doug Fister. He's allowed no runs on 4 hits through 4. Cabrera just steals second base, walking down there as Workman paid no attention to him.
Bad hip, bad abdomen and all. Watch this. Like a stroll in the park.
First stolen base since the 7th of July for Miguel Cabrera. And now a 3-2 pitch to Prince Fielder. The strikeout ends the inning. 2 more runs for the Tigers, down 2-1. They chase the starter Jake Peavy tonight for the Red Sox. Add to their lead. Leads 7-0 after 4 in Game 4. Back after this from your local Fox station. Tomorrow night against Anibal Sanchez. Here's Will Middlebrooks. Struck out his first time, 1 for 9 in this ALCS. 4 for 22 this postseason. As John Farrell said, he can get streaky, and we have to hope that he gets hot, because the bottom of this lineup, Drew has struggled, as has Middlebrooks. Trying to turn it over and present opportunities for the top half with Ellsbury, Victorino, and Pedroia in the top 3 spots. They can get on, they can run, but they can also drive in runs. 1 and 2 on Middlebrooks. 2 and 2. Game 6 coming up in the NLCS on Friday in St. Louis, and that rematch of Clayton Kershaw and Michael Wacha, which was a 1-0 win for the Cardinals in Game 2 last Saturday. That was provided by Zach Greinke, his pitching today, and 4 home runs. Adrian Gonzalez hit 2. Crawford hit 1. A.J. Ellis the other. And that series is far from over. A guy like Kershaw lined up for Game 6. 1 out, and strikeout number 6 for Doug Fister. Our postseason coverage continues tomorrow night with Game 5 of this ALCS right here in Detroit, beginning at 7:30 Eastern. Then Friday night, 8 Eastern on TBS. Game 6. Dodgers and Cardinals in that good matchup. Kershaw, Wacha. Don't miss a minute of all the action this postseason. Game 6 on TBS on Friday night. No team in MLB, NBA, or NHL history has blown a 3-1 postseason series lead in consecutive years. The Cardinals did it last year with the Giants doing it to them. That series is 3-2 going to St. Louis. That's into the gap in left center field. It will get down and get to the wall. Ellsbury a stumble around first, but it's a clean double here with 1 out in the 5th.
Ellsbury hitting the ball where it was pitched, a tailing fastball. If you try to pull that ball, you play Pepper with the second baseman. Good hitting by Ellsbury. Only Red Sox hitter with 2 hits in this game.
Listening to stats can make your ears bleed sometimes, but I'm going to give you this one.
All right.
As Victorino tries to get the Red Sox on the board. Strike 1. The starting pitching for the Tigers coming in over their last 7 ALCS games had not allowed a run through the first 5 innings for 7 straight in the ALCS. Last year against the Yankees, this year against the Red Sox. Fister trying to make that continue.
Yeah.
Middlebrooks struck out to start the inning. Ellsbury doubled into left center, and Victorino tries to break up the shutout. That is hooked foul.
We talked about the first 3 and their running ability of the Red Sox. Ellsbury, Victorino, and Pedroia. When you're down 7-0, your running game is over for the most part, until you creep back to 7-4, 7-5, something like that.
Victorino 6 for 9 this postseason with runners in scoring position. He's got Ellsbury out there. Breaks his bat, tries to float one into left, and Iglesias tries to turn it into a double play. 2 out in the inning. The hands for Iglesias are lightning fast.
We talked about the magic he can work. We saw it on the relay when Ellsbury had the base hit against the wall, the relay by Torrey Hunter. That ball just pulled Infante off the bag. That's a tough play.
We talked to him before game 2 of this series. He is
Delightful. Delightful.
He's a young guy, born in Cuba, full of confidence, not scared. I mean, how often, and to the credit of Dave Dombrowski, you turn Abisail Garcia and some minor leaguers into a guy that you could see playing shortstop here in Detroit for the next 10, 11 years.
Sure. 16 years old, he was a member of the Cuban national team.
Add to that on the record of Dombrowski getting the guy on the mound here tonight, Pfister. Two 2-0 the count on Pedroia. Then there's Ben Cherington of the Red Sox, who we said hi to in the clubhouse before the game, and the job that he's done. That's a chopper to third. Tough play for Cabrera. And out at first. Miguel Cabrera got him. Inning over. The barehanded pickup and that good Cabrera arm. Good call at first. 7-0 after 4.5. Vila.
Detroit Tigers grateful that Victor Martinez left knee that he reheard rounding the bag last night had to be removed for a pinch runner in the 9th inning. But it is all right today and no ill effects.
1 out, a loud out on the line drive hit to Pedroia. Victor Martinez 1 for 3 tonight.
That was his left knee. He missed all of last year with that, but fortunately for the Tigers, ended up being just a cramp.
You know, we've talked so much about Dave Dombrowski and the job he's done here with Detroit in his 12th season as general manager for Mr. Ilitch. Not able really to dig too deep into what Ben Cherington has done as general manager for the Red Sox. Took over in October of 2011. 15th season with the Red Sox franchise. As Peralta has the count even at a ball and a strike. And how about the job he did getting rid of those long-term responsibilities and contracts with the guys he sent to the Dodgers.
That was one of the best general managerial jobs that I've seen about and heard over the last 30 years. Getting rid of that salary and freeing up the money to sign guys like Victorino, Napoli,
bringing a guy like Gomes in.
Yep.
Picking the right guy to manage and just flush out all those frustrating days during the summer of 2012 when the Red Sox finished in last place and lost 93 games. A strikeout for out number 2 as Peralta goes down swinging 2 out in the 5th. Ben Cherington traded Nick Punto and then a bunch of other guys like Beckett and Carl Crawford and Adrian Gonzalez and all of those long-term responsibilities they had with deals, and it almost didn't matter who they got from Boston.
Yeah, that left column proves that.
It just freed them up to go out and change the makeup of this team. De La Rosa, a talented pitcher. That was a salary and a contract dump. Really well worked by Cherington, the front office, Larry Lucchino, and the management of the Red Sox. First pitch, a ball to Avila. And now another. It's 2-0. Ryan Dempster would like to get into the action. The only fun he's had so far in this ALCS was being on the mound when Ortiz hit the home run, the grand slam into the Red Sox bullpen in Game 2. 2-0 pitch. 3-0.
When Ryan Dempster stopped after throwing a pitch to Manny Martinez, the bullpen catcher, he stopped, looked toward the ball coming out there, and that alerted Martinez to look to his left, and that's why he caught the ball.
That was on the grand slam with 2 out in the 8th inning to tie Game 2. There's a strike. It's 3-1.
And the thing about Martinez, he couldn't see it because he was squatted catching the ball that Dempster had just thrown. And when he looked, there's no way that he could see the ball. You talk about timing. It was perfect.
3-1 the count on Avila. Now full count.
One of the iconic shots in Boston sports history.
And they've had some moments.
Oh, have they ever.
Across all sports.
From Havlicek to Brady. Yastrzemski.
Bobby Orr.
Bobby Orr.
There you go. Game 2, 8th inning. Let's watch it. In it comes, out it goes, over the wall with Torrey Hunter. The police officer celebrates. The bullpen catcher, Martinez, catches it. Ryan Dempster throws the pitch and watches. And Game 2 is tied.
You might ask, and we did, where did the other ball go? The one that Dempster threw. It went to the bare hand of Martinez, who turned to his left and caught the ball. Big poppy hit. Unbelievable.
Infante flies to Victorino. We're through 5. Tigers have stranded 3. Most importantly for them, down 2-1. They've scored 7. And lead 7-0 going into the 6th. Into center. Austin Jackson to his right. 1 away. Our Liberty Mutual game summary as we play here in the 6th inning of Game 4. We look at the lineup changes with Torrey Hunter hitting in the leadoff spot for the first time since 1999. Miguel Cabrera batting the number 2 spot. Austin Jackson for the first time in his big league career hitting 8th. You see the production in a 7-0 game. The Tigers trying to even this best-of-7 series.
I've always thought managers, major league managers, get too much blame and not enough credit. And I think that's the case with Jim Leyland. When the Tigers are losing, it's the case with Don Mattingly earlier in the year with the Dodgers. The Dodgers were losing. It was Mattingly's fault. Now all of a sudden the Dodgers win. It was Yasiel Puig arriving on June 3rd.
Here's the 0-1. Napoli takes ball 1. Yeah, when a team that's supposed to win struggles, they look at the one guy in the corner of the dugout typically, and that's true obviously in all sports.
Yes.
When that team then starts to win, they go, well, they were supposed to.
I think more so in baseball than any of the other major team sports, for whatever reason.
Here's a fly ball, shallow right. That ball's going to get down for a base hit. And Napoli's 2 for 3. Coming into tonight, his only hit was the game-winning home run yesterday. He's now 3 for 11. Here is Nava. Daniels grounded out, struck out. We'll answer our trivia question after the first delivery to Nava. Question was about 1-0 games. The Dodge Durango trivia question. The last time there were 3 1-0 games in a single LCS. There have been 2 so far. 91 NLCS between the Braves and the Pirates. Jim Leyland was managing Pittsburgh. It's the only time it has occurred. 3 1-0 games in any postseason series. Here's a base hit into center. Back-to-back singles by Napoli and Nava. 2 on 1 out. Braves won games 2 and 6, 1-0. Both times behind Steve Avery. The Pirates won game 5, 1-0 behind Zane Smith.
Left-hander and a good one.
So there you go. We'll have 3 more cracks at trying to tie or break that. Won't happen tonight. 7-0 the score. Saltalamacchia is 1 for 2. He is singled, fouled out. Ball 1. John Lackey, when he beat the Tigers here yesterday, became the 3rd pitcher to win a 1-0 game in the postseason in their franchise history. First guy to do it was named Ruth. World Series game 1.
That was his last name, right?
Yes. It was game 1 in the 1918 World Series against the Cubs. Second guy to do it was Bruce Hurst in the 86 World Series game 1 against the Mets, and Lackey here yesterday in game 3. That's into center. 3 straight hits, and the Red Sox are on the board. It's a 7-1 game as Napoli scores. Saltalamacchia has the RBI.
Single to right, single to center, single to center. 2-seam fastball right down the pipe. Second hit for Saltalamacchia.
And the first multi-hit inning for the Red Sox here in game 4. That brings Jeff Jones out of the dugout and starts action for the Tigers out in their bullpen.
I talked to Jeff Jones before the game and asked him at the behest of Steve Horn, our information director, and I asked Jeff if Doug Fister followed scouting reports like all other pitchers. He said no. He said they studied them before he pitches, like yesterday in this case, but he wants to rely on his instincts. And these scouts do such a fantastic job. I mean, remarkable with the technology available to them now. But it's still a game that has to be executed on the field and between the white lines. The scouts know that. And Doug Fister knows that and relies on the instincts and his ability to read hitters. And he's been very successful doing so.
Doug Fister was hit in the head during the World Series last year.
Wow. Game 2 of the
out in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That last one was close off the bat of Saltalamacchia. Here's one down the left field line. Going to get it Iglesias, and he cannot make the play.
That would have started the legendary catches of a young man who's going to have some legendary catches before his career is over. Magic hands.
He's back to his spot. The count 1-1. The batter Stephen Drew is looking for his first RBI of this series. He has struck out, fly to right, 3 straight hits for the Red Sox, trying to climb back in it. Strike 2. Talked about World Series game 2 out in San Francisco when Fister got hit with a batted ball. This moment ago, Saltalamacchia right back up the middle, and Fister able to get down and out of the way. Here's a 1-2. 2-2.
After that ball hit Doug last year, we suggested that baseball work on a fortified helmet for a pitcher. It'll come within the next 10 years, probably. We just hope that a very serious injury is avoided before it is invented or made pitchers comfortable or grandfathered it in to baseball in the minor leagues.
Here's a 2-2. Full count. It wouldn't take much more for this crowd to get a little anxious. Down 2 games to 1, leading 7-0. Now 7-1, 2 on, 1 out. And a full count on Stephen Drew. At the end of a 1-year deal with Boston. Fister buys a little time. Big strikeout for Fister. 2 out in the inning. And Drew now 1 for 12 in this series.
Well, that has been a beautiful curveball for Fister all night. At 12-6 action.
Now Mike Karp is going to come off the bench and bat for Middlebrooks. Oh for 5 this postseason. Two on, 2 out, a run home, and a 7-1 game in the 6th. This November, some cops are born, others are made. Get ready for the next evolution of cop drama. Don't miss the show critics are calling obsession worthy. It's Almost Human, premiering Monday, November 4th, right here on Fox. Karp digs in. He got the start in game 2. Went 0 for 3. Hitless this postseason after a pretty good first year in Boston. Former Seattle Mariner took a ball. Infante charging it, flips, and the inning is over. The Red Sox get just 1 on 3 hits, have left 8 in the game. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning in Detroit. Tigers up 7-1. RBI night for Jackson, who took a ball. Singled and stole a base. He scored a run as well. Iglesias next, and then Torrey Hunter against the right-hander Dempster. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good night for Austin Jackson. 2 RBIs. Hit the ball well. Last time up, Pedroia almost made the play. Walk with the bases loaded. And congratulations abound for Austin. Even Iglesias, tell that confident guy, 21-year-old, knowing what Jackson has been through as part of the game.
Here's a line drive into right. Another hit for Austin Jackson.
So he had the bench involved. Now he's got the fans involved. Out of the 8-hole.
Just fought it off into right, and a guy who, as we said, just took the change in the batting order with a smile on his face, and his teammates have to be thrilled with what he's been able to turn in here tonight. A guy who hit .311 and scored 80 runs when he was in the lineup for Detroit in their 81 wins, and hit .182, scored only 20 in the 56 losses when he was in the lineup. So it goes much deeper than just Austin Jackson, but when he gets on, gets hit, scores runs, typically the Tigers win. Jackson has stolen one. He's leaning over there right now. As Iglesias grounds to Drew. Out. Not in time. One away. Iglesias got down the line in a blink.
Like he did the first ball he hit tonight. Drew couldn't get it out of his glove cleanly, and Iglesias is safe at first base.
So 1 on 1 out for Torrey Hunter, who is 1 for 3. Looked like the throw may have beaten Iglesias. Napoli on that short hop looked like he had it before the right foot of Iglesias stepped on the bag. Called safe. 1 on 1 out. Strike 1 on Hunter.
Ball in the glove before the foot hit the bag.
Here's the 0-1. Not hard hit. Drew, they get the out at second and got them both.
Great double play.
What a turn by Pedroia with Iglesias right on top of him. He is tough. That sends us into the 7th inning of game number 4. 7-1. Tigers on top. Back after this from your local Fox station. That man happened to be David Ortiz. He was making his first appearance since the 18th of September. He's been pitching with a tender elbow. We talked to Jim Leyland before the game, and I asked him, did he show you something yesterday? And he said, yeah, you know, I hadn't seen him pitch. So at least he came on, got the left-handed batter, and he will deal with Ellsbury here to start the 7th.
Jim looking for a game like this with the Tigers 6 runs up instead of a 1-run ball game when Coke came in last night, but he did the job.
Going hard, 94 miles per hour as Drew Smyly joins Al Albuquerque. This could be one and done for Coke yet again, meaning one batter. 2 right-handers to follow and 2 guys up in the pen. 7-1 game, 7th inning. Ellsbury, who has had a nice night. He's doubled. Sharp single to right, 2 for 3. Free agent to be, and his main competition out in the open market, if he gets there, which it seems like he will, might very well be Carlos Beltran, whose deal is up in St. Louis. The end of his 2-year contract will be 37. Ellsbury's got a 3-hit night. As he lines one into left field, Jacoby is on to start the 7th. And the Red Sox would love to get number 2 heated up. That's going to be it for Coke. Victorino and Pedroia coming up. Al Albuquerque coming in from beyond the wall out in left. Now Jose Veras joins Smyly. 1 ball, 1 strike on Victorino. He's popped up twice and struck out. It was against Fister. Good pitch by the right-hander for strike 2.
That's that slider. He throws it about 75% of the time. Off the plate away. Good pitch.
Fister went 6, allowed 1 run on 8 hits. Struck out 7, walked only 1. 1-2. Into left center field. That ball is going to get down and go to the wall. Ellsbury will cruise all the way around from first and score to make it 7-2.
That slider didn't bite. It just hung right over the plate, and Victorino didn't foul it back. He didn't miss it. Easy for Ellsbury to score. There's a big league hanging slider right there.
With a count of 1-2, Victorino's eyes lit up.
Yeah.
Ellsbury scores easily to make it a 5-run game. Still nobody out. Pedroia up now, Ortiz on deck, and it starts to get a little more interesting here in the 7th. Biggest come from behind effort for the Red Sox in their postseason history. 7 runs. 2008 LCS in Game 5 against Tampa Bay. They were down 7-0. Now it's 7-2. Here's Cabrera, looks at the runner, and that almost cost him the out.
Good call, Joe. You're exactly right. No sense in worrying about the runner in that situation, because you're coming in. It takes time. Watch, looking towards second. Pedroia busting it as he always does down to first, and that almost cost the Tigers and Cabrera the out at first.
Cabrera's got a great arm, and he had to use every bit of it. Once he looked up and saw Pedroia hustling down the line, he was out, but not by much. Cabrera ended up on his knees after the play. That was too close. Another pitching change. Smiley coming in with Big Poppy coming up. Look into the dugout to see if another pitching change is coming, and so far it isn't. Napoli digs in 2 out of 3. And for the moment, Veras stays out in the bullpen.
Yeah, what you just said, I think, is keeping Veras out in the bullpen, because Smiley is not your prototypical left-handed pitcher. He's much, much better than most left-handers in trying to get right-handers out. He's like Craig Breslow of the Red Sox in that regard. That's why he's still in there.
Napoli takes a ball. On deck is Johnny Gomes.
Normally right-handed batters don't hit left-handed pitching as well as left-handed batters hit right-handed pitching, generally speaking.
Here's a pop-up.
See?
You've proven your point as Prince Fielder hauls it in. Napoli is out, and the Red Sox, who put their first 2 on with a run home, get just the 1. And here in the 7th inning, time to stretch in Game 4. Tigers lead it 7-2. Tonight's game is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by MasterCard, preferred card of Major League Baseball since 1997. Left-handers Franklin Morales, he takes over. First time we've seen him in this ALCS. Happy birthday to you.
I mean,
happy. You would think after 18 years of working together, I would know it was your birthday, and I wouldn't have to learn it on a crawl.
Don't worry about it. Thank you. Thank you very much, my friend.
Blow them out before, the fire marshal comes in.
That's it. This is a cardboard box.
Yes.
It's a cardboard box. You believe it?
Good job, Chris Ober.
Thanks, Chris.
Very, very well done.
That's very nice.
And I know you were. I did see that it was your birthday. I didn't know it was your birthday, but I did see that it was, and it was on a crawl, and you were upset that they had your age on there.
No, not really. I was feigning that. I was only kidding. Just kidding. I'm 72. Big deal. I'm glad I continue having birthdays.
Absolutely.
Believe me.
Bad luck to miss a birthday.
Yeah, it's not good. No, not
Happy
good.
birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
Glad we're here together. And
Me too.
what an ALCS it's been. Franklin Morales. And that's what he did during the regular season. This guy's got good stuff. And he gets ready as the fourth pitcher of the night for the Red Sox. Time for the T-Mobile player profile. Miguel Cabrera of Venezuela. And his night tonight, 2 for 3. 2 RBIs, a stolen base. 24 postseason RBIs with the Tigers. Again, a franchise record. Again, more opportunities with more layers in the postseason. It was a frustrating day for Miguel Cabrera yesterday as his 19 straight games with a hit in an LCS contest came to a close when he went 0 for 4. That was brought to you by T-Mobile. Nationwide data is going global with coverage in over 100 countries at no extra charge. Here he is taking a strike from Morales. Cabrera, then fielder, then Victor Martinez. Dempster went 1 inning, allowed a hit, faced only 3 as he got Hunter to bounce into a double play. Well turned by Pedroia at second base. Well hit into right. Back Victorino with a leap and a catch. 1 out.
What a terrific play by Victorino. That ball didn't have a lot of hang time to give Shane a chance to get under it. But with his speed and his glove, he makes the play. Nice.
Caught it in the heel of the glove. Battling hamstring issues for the majority of the season. Issues with his hand and wrist. He's tough. Fielder flies 1 into center. And his hitless night continues. 0 for 4 tonight. 3 out of 15 in this series. Victorino made that catch and then had something to say, I'm sure, in response to a fan out there over the wall in right. They love him in Boston his first year in a Red Sox uniform.
Loved him in Philadelphia, too.
Gritty player.
Yes, sir.
Honored well in Philly when he came back through. Was with the Dodgers for a short while last year. Good player. 2 out, nobody on. Here's Victor Martinez. Ball 1. The 1-0 pitch from Morales. 94 that missed. It's 2-0. With the bases empty, Victor Martinez trying to pump one out of here with the count in his favor. 2-0 came up empty. Red Sox in the 8th inning will have the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. We saw Gomes in the on-deck circle when Napoli popped up. Looked like he was going to bat for Nava, and it looks like the night may be finished for Cabrera. That one's fouled out of play off to the right. Either that or he's just cleaning up, getting his coat and heading back to the clubhouse to put it away.
I think you were right with your first comment. Jim Leyland's job to take no chances. Obviously remembering the 8th inning of game 2.
Left side base hit. Martinez 2 for 4 tonight.
Out of the range of Xander Bogaerts. What a good-looking player he is. He's turned 21 from Aruba.
Here's Don Kelly first at bat, took over for Peralta and left in the 6th. Johnny, while he was in there 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Big inning was the 2nd for Detroit. Good breaking ball has Kelly frozen, strike 1. In the 2nd, a leadoff hit by Victor Martinez. Back-to-back walks to Peralta and Avila. After Infante flied out, Austin Jackson walked home a run for the RBI. Then a force out hit into by Iglesias for an RBI on what might have been a double play. 2-run double by Torrey Hunter, who scored on the 2-out RBI hit by Cabrera. Count 0-2 on Don Kelly. Five-run game in the 7th. Still 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Oh, just missed, ball 1. Avila would be next. Kelly trying to reach base. He is 2 for 9 this postseason, 0 for 4 in this ALCS. Got to start in game 2. Franklin Morales ended the season with no runs allowed in 10 of his last 11 games. Made 1 start this season, 19 relief appearances. 2-2. Can be a valuable guy on a pitching staff, can make a start, can go long, can set up.
Tough on left-handed hitters.
It's Don Kelly trying to figure him out here with a count 2-2. Just got a piece. Another 2-2 pitch from Morales. Popped up shallow right. Out is Pedroia. Inning over. And that sends us into the 8th inning. And just so you know, Chris Ober in the background is trending on Twitter. Johnny Gomes will come off the bench and bat to start this 8th inning for Daniel Nava. Gomes made the start here in game 3 yesterday. Nava back in there tonight, and Gomes replaces him here in the 8th. 7-2 game. The Red Sox up 2 games to 1. Detroit leading here tonight. Chilly night, not too cold. In Detroit, the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Smiley came on in the 7th and got David Ortiz to bounce out to the right side. Got under it, popped it up. Iglesias, if it ever comes down, has out number 1.
Joe, I don't know if you saw that tweet by Hunter Mahan about, remember you were talking about something last night about being Puigish, referring to the preening of Puig after or before he hit a triple, and this was on the tweet. If players are so upset at Puig celebrating a triple or clutch hits, then get him out. I'm tired of hearing about baseball's unwritten rules. So we decided to throw up something that applied to golf, the tradition of golf. We'll have it for you shortly.
1 ball, no strikes on Saltalamacchia. 1 out, nobody on.
I guess the first thing would be, well, against tradition, let the pros wear shorts in 110-degree weather.
That is a written rule, though, I believe.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Go to your next one.
All right. Talk anytime your opponent hits.
Yeah, that's.
And talk loudly.
Can't do that.
That's not written.
If you're in the gallery, you can yell,
Yeah.
"You the man." Baba Booey.
Step onto your opponent's putting line.
That gets you in a fight. Especially with real spikes. Here's a foul straight back, 2-2.
And how about driving into more than one foursome? There it is.
Oh,
Drive into
Look at
every
that.
foursome in front of
part
you.
of the Rat Pack.
Huh?
Look at the caricature.
Allow pros to wear shorts when it's 110. Talking, I would imagine, I don't know Hunter Mahan, but I would imagine he's watching the game tonight and he would get a kick out of something like that if he has a sense of humor, and I assume he does.
Don't back off. Hey,
No,
it's
I'm
your
not.
birthday and you're starting wars
That's right.
with PGA guys. I'm out of this.
I'm trying to involve you.
I know. Struck him out, 2 out here in the top of the 8th.
Good pitch from Smiley to Saltalamacchia.
See, I didn't even know you were scouring the Twitter world.
Well, the guys in the truck told me about it. I do not read tweets, but they told me about it. Thought we'd have a little fun with it.
Here's Drew, strike 1. Smiley is retired all 4 he's faced and has 2 out here in the 8th.
St. Louis, Missouri will see the likes of Yasiel Puig in 2 nights as the Dodgers won this afternoon. It's 3-2 Cardinals over the Dodgers. What a matchup on Friday night.
Yeah, and what a game. I mean,
yeah.
Dodgers facing elimination, getting to hand the ball to Clayton Kershaw, taking on the rookie Michael Wacha. Friday night on TBS. The count's 0-2 at 11 o'clock straight up here in Detroit. Drew flies one down the left field line. Long run. Kelly makes the play. And we go into the bottom of the 8th inning, still 7-2. This from the Killers album, Direct Hits, which comes out. For Dubron, 27 of the 29 games he pitched this season were as a starter. For John Farrell, it was 11-6, 27 starts. He's come out of the bullpen 22 times in his career, starting to establish himself as a solid part of the big league rotation. The 0-1 pitch. On the inside corner, strike 2. Red Sox before the end of the night will have Bogarts, Ellsbury, and Victorino. If they start to make any noise, the heart of the order will bat in the 9th. Here's the 0-2. Good pitch, but called ball 1. That had everybody locked up for a split second. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You don't even want it that good. 0-2.
Dubron from Venezuela brings home a 1-2, and he hits Avila. Almost struck him out, and Avila sees one more pitch, and it hits him under the right arm.
You may remember Alex, his first at bat tonight, he fouled the ball off his right foot. Now he gets one the right side of the rib cage. Thought that ball just grazed him initially, but it looked like it got him pretty good. And this is earlier in the game, his first at bat, when he eventually walked. So he has had a tough night at the plate this evening.
He's been on base 3 times without a hit. Here's Infante. Strike 1. Omar is 1 for 3. He doubled and scored in a 2-run 4th inning. Driven in by Austin Jackson.
Go ahead, Joe.
Just going to say we will set up tomorrow night's pitching matchup here in this bottom of the 8th inning. Game 5 might be, could be. It is double play 4-6-3. With Pedroia feeding Stephen Drew. Here it is, game 5 of this ALCS. From here in Detroit tomorrow night, John Lester takes on Anibal Sanchez in a rematch of game 1, which was a 1-0 Detroit win at Fenway. Coverage of the game begins tomorrow night right here on Fox at 7:30 Eastern. Lester was good. Sanchez was at times seemingly unhittable. He was, as far as base hits, he gave up none through 6 innings. He struck out 12, walked 6. There's the night for Lester, who was right there with him. 1 run on 6 hits and 6 1/3. 4 strikeouts and a walk, and a 1-0 Detroit win. So a good one tomorrow night. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jackson.
See if the Red Sox learned, and I'm sure they did, about Sanchez. Not that they didn't know that he throws a lot of balls out of the strike zone. And if you lay off that pitch, your chances of hitting him go up dramatically. Change up out of the strike zone, breaking ball out of the strike zone. A great read of hitters. Great pitch.
Great pitching stuff.
Oh, yeah. Great pitching intelligence. Reading hitters.
Here's a 1-2 to Jackson, who has not been retired tonight. 2-2. Again, Bogarts, Ellsbury, and Victorino for the Red Sox in the 9th. Dubron trying to keep it a 5-run game. The 2-2 pitch. Benoit is in the bullpen. Smiley has retired all 5 hitters he's faced. Another 2-2 pitch to Austin Jackson. Full count. 45,000 plus fans were packed into Comerica Park here tonight. Chilly evening, windy. 14th season they've played in this beautiful ballpark. They've had fun tonight. Tiger fans have as Jackson gets a piece to stay alive.
You know, it does take pressure off a hitter when he's struggling in a #1 spot and to move him down in the order when he's not expected to do as much. It's an example of that tonight. It's more than just coincidental.
And he is on base for the 4th time. So here's a guy, Torrey Hunter, replaced in the leadoff spot and moving him down to 8th. He's been all over the place.
On base 4 times, 2 RBIs, 2 hits, 2 walks.
Got a stolen base, able to run.
Scored a run.
Here's Iglesias. And it worked out the other way too, with Hunter having a big 2-out 2-run double in the 2nd. And he scored on a hit by Cabrera, who drove home 2 runs out of the #2 spot. Fielder, the only guy in this lineup that has not reached base in this game 4. That's ball 1. Iglesias has an RBI. He has a sacrifice bunt. Ball and a strike. Came in having hit .226 since the All-Star break and under 100 since the 11th of September in his first year in the big leagues. Long year. Ball 2. Now the 2-1. Base hit right field. First of the night for Iglesias. They throw to first. Saltalamacchia backing up. Boy, Iglesias came out of the box like he knew Victorino was ready to throw him out because he busted it out of the box.
That's a great observation right there. This ball smacked. Look at Victorino. He's thinking, I got a shot at him. Throws it low, knowing Saltalamacchia would be there.
There wasn't any hesitancy on the part of Iglesias watching the base hit into right. He put his head down and took off.
Yeah, like it was an infield hit instead of an outfield hit.
And then he playfully made that gesture out to Victorino. Obviously, these two started the year as teammates. I don't know that Victorino's in the playful mood right now.
No.
Here's Torrey Hunter. 2 on, 2 out. Ball 1 low. Hunter 1 for 4 with that 2-run double and a run scored in the 2nd. Biggest inning of this LCS to this point. 5 runs on 3 hits. Here's a 1-0. Good block by Saltalamacchia. Ball 2. With Hunter up, remember Santiago is in the game with Cabrera getting the rest of the night off. So it's not Miguel Cabrera on deck. It's Ramon Santiago. Right now it's Hunter. He's looking for something to crush here on 2-0. inside corner, strike one. The next from Dubron. In at the knees, 2-2.
John Farrell trusts Dubron against right-handed batters like Leland trusts Smiley against right-handers, as he's proven tonight.
Now the 2-2 pitch. Full count, the runners will go. Torrey Hunter trying to fight his way to his first World Series. Tigers trying to even this best of 7 at 2 games apiece. Here's the 3-2. Strikeout ends the inning. And sends this into the 9th. It's game number 4 of this American League Championship Series. We're in Detroit, where the Tigers lead it 7-2. Last time Benoit was on the mound was at Fenway Park in game 2. It was a changeup that, as the Tigers will tell you, was a bit too hard. A bit too high. Here's a deep shot into right. Back at the wall. It takes a hop, and it's a double for the 21-year-old Bogaerts.
Xander Bogaerts, his first hit of the LCS. Got to make him feel good. Young man from Aruba, we talked about him. This ball bouncing over the fence, a ground rule double. Yeah, I thought that pitch was a fastball on Sunday night. I called it a fastball, and I felt so good before the meeting on Tuesday when Jim Leland said we were in the dugout and we thought it was a fastball, but it was a changeup thrown too hard.
That's a ball that Ortiz hit. Bogaerts is at second with nobody out. The batter is Ellsbury. He's got a 3-hit night. Drew Smiley had retired 5 straight. Red Sox trying to make some noise here in the 9th inning. Victorino, Pedroia, the next 2 hitters. David Ortiz in a 5-run game. Here's a 1-0 pitch. A ball and a strike.
And because it's a 5-run game, it's not a safe situation, of course, but that doesn't mean that if Benoit gives up a couple of runs that it won't affect his confidence. Because after Sunday, as you said, first time back, now he gives up a couple of runs, and then when he gets in a safe situation, perhaps tomorrow night, you don't want to win the battle and lose the war here.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. He went around Ellsbury. That's strike 2. Ellsbury argues with Marquez, who did not appeal. The home plate umpire is the one who called it. And it's strike 2 instead of ball 2.
Almost all replays of check swings look like he went through, but that, I agree with Marquez.
Leadoff double by Bogaerts. 1-2 the count on Ellsbury. Right side, it's a fair ball down the line. Bogaerts will score. Ellsbury will cruise toward third and make it easily as Hunter finally gets it back in. It's a 7-3 game.
I think that ball hit the bag popped over the head of Prince Fielder. Prince went after it with his glove, and watch his right hand. He tried to knock it down with his right hand. Unsuccessfully. It's by the first base umpire, Dale Scott. So a triple for Ellsbury, and now if the Red Sox can load them up, then again, one swing of the bat with Benoit on the mound. Who knows?
It's an RBI triple. What a night for Ellsbury. He's got 4 hits, 2 extra base hits. He's now driven in a run. He's scored a run. Here's Pedroia. Ball 1 outside. By going to Benoit here after Smiley had retired 5 straight in a 5-run game, you know Jim Leyland wants to try and build Benoit back up. But as you said,
yeah,
coming off that appearance in game 2, giving up the grand slam to David Ortiz, here he is in trouble again. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Not trying to play amateur psychiatrist, but I mean, anybody would know that he gives up 3, maybe 4 runs, makes it exciting, uneasy crowd. What's he going to feel like tomorrow night coming in a safe situation?
If that presents itself.
Yeah.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Strike 2. Benoit snaps at the ball as he gets it back from Avila.
Good changeup to Victorino. That split change. Wide goes down, and of course, changes speeds.
Here's a 1-2. Meanwhile, Jose Veras is getting loose for Detroit in their bullpen. He is the former closer. He's been up a couple of times. He's closing in the lowest pressured situation you can find pretty much in baseball in Houston before he was picked up by the Tigers. Victorino waits for a 2-2. And strikes out, 1 away.
There's that split change again to get Victorino. What an effective pitch. Roger Craig, the manager of the San Francisco Giants, kind of the grandfather of that pitch. Popularized it out west.
That's a strike. Did that in the 80s with the Giants.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody in their bullpen was throwing it.
Right.
It's Pedroia now. It's Ortiz on deck. Runner at third, 1 out. The 0-1 pitch from Benoit. Strike 2. Pedroia able to get a piece. Dustin tonight has singled, walked, grounded out twice. Unfortunately now, the Tigers are 1 out away from evening this series at 2 games apiece. And Benoit gets to face David Ortiz before the end of the night. Ortiz has only the 1 hit in this ALCS. He's 1 out of 14. 0 for 4 tonight. Ball 1. Red Sox are 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position here tonight. They've stranded 9. A 1-0. Good swing by Ortiz. Maybe his best of the night, but he fouled it away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Knowing he was going to get the fastball, he got it, fouled it back. Back to the splitter for Benoit, I would think. Nope, fastball. Benoit striking out Victorino and Pedroia with splitters. So a 2-seam fastball puts Ortiz in the hole.
He could strike out the side, Benoit, and end this night.
And again, that would be huge for his confidence. That's not overstating it either.
Ball 2. Matchup of John Lester and Anibal Sanchez tomorrow night. If the Tigers win here tonight, it guarantees this series at least 6 games and a trip back to Fenway Park on Saturday. Count.
Even if it's David Ortiz at the plate, you still can't walk him.
21st pitch of the inning coming from Benoit. In the air to right. Hunter is there. Tigers have evened this series at 2 apiece as they win here tonight, 7-3. The Tigers proving here tonight that depth with their starting rotation No matter how they lined up after being taken to 5 games in the division series with the A's, it started with Sanchez. Tonight it was Fister with Scherzer and Verlander in between them. And Fister was outstanding here tonight. 6 innings, 1 run, 8 hits.
He certainly was. And once again, a starter for Detroit goes 5 innings at least without giving up a run.
And the reaction up in the press box and down on the field after this 7-3 Tiger win. And let's go down to Erin Andrews.
Joe, thanks so much. Here with Austin Jackson. I know tonight was a relief for you after struggling here in the ALCS. You said you hoped this lineup shuffle would get you going. Why did it?
I think it just helped me relax. I think that was the goal. And, you know, like I said, it just wanted to go up there and be patient and get a pitch to hit.
You mentioned Jim Leyland knows what he's doing with this whole lineup shuffle. How much pressure did it take off you going down to the 8th?
Well, yeah, like I said, I think that was the goal, just to get me to relax a little bit and you know, be patient and get a good pitch and let the rest take care of itself.
It really imploded for Jake Peavy in the bottom of the 2nd, and you got it going after you walked with the bases loaded. What did you guys see out of Peavy that you were able to jump on him there?
Well, I think just be patient and get a good pitch to hit. You know, we weren't really going out of the zone for too much. You know, we were getting pitches to hit in the zone and putting good swings on them.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Let's send it over to Kenny now.
Aaron, thank you. Torrey, got to ask you, what did you think of the new lineup?
Oh, man, that was pretty good. He kind of switched things up, kind of shake it up a little bit, and I definitely think that it worked out well. And you know, it kind of give you a different mindset. You know, Mickey hitting second, me leading off, so it gave us a different mindset and go out there and make some things happen.
Now, you hadn't hit leadoff since 1999 when you were a very young man. You probably will be hitting leadoff again tomorrow. What was it like?
Man, you know what? It was awesome. I mean, you know, my first at bat, I'm more like the sacrificial lamb, and make sure the guys know what the pitchers are trying to do, how his ball's moving, and different things like that. Give those guys behind me a chance to get a good look, and I try to, you know, take as many pitches as I could, but he was enticing, throwing the ball in the zone, and we were able to capitalize on some mistakes he made.
Real quick on Austin, how happy are you for him?
Man, I'm happy for him, man. Earlier today, you know, before BP, he came here early and just went in the cage and worked on his approach, and he stayed back a little more. And you saw he had four professional at-bats. I mean, 2 hits, 2 walks. That's Austin Jackson. When he's on base, havoc. He wreaks havoc, definitely.
Torrey, thank you. Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny, thank you. Well, this ALCS for the Tigers started with Sanchez, then Scherzer, then Verlander. Tonight it was Fister. How good was he? 6 innings, 1 run, 8 hits, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. He gets the win. And on the offensive side, the shuffled lineup, batting 8th for the first time in his big league career, Austin Jackson on base 4 times. Back after this, Tigers win it 7-3.
Hoping for some type of complete game. Did you see offense, defense, and pitching? Mario, this is about as close as we've been able to see it for the postseason, don't you think?
It really is, but you know what? It's not like the Tigers played poorly in the first 3 games in the series, and Jim Leyland is fond of saying it doesn't look good until you score some runs, then all of a sudden it looks good, and it looks like the Tigers played well. They have played well in the first 3 games in the series, but finally the offense got going. They got to Peavy early with 3 walks in that 2nd inning. And how about the top of the lineup? A couple of key knocks early on from your 1 and 2 hitters who are not used to hitting 1 and 2.
Well, the bottom part of the lineup too, Rod. Was it more the shakeup that Jim Leyland put together, or was it more of Jake Peavy being ineffective in your mind?
You know, I think it was a little bit of both, and I think that Jake Peavy kind of flipped the script at how he has gone after the Tigers. Usually Jake Peavy is one of those guys that tries to overpower the Tigers with a lot of fastballs when he was with the White Sox, but he threw a lot of breaking balls today. And in that 2nd inning, when he walked 3, a lot of the balls that were out of the strike zone were breaking balls. Tigers did a marvelous job of working some counts today against Jake Peavy. I talked to Alex Avila today. He said they felt good about going in against Peavy. They had a great game plan against him, and that game plan turned out to be an outstanding game plan.
Austin Jackson in his career over 300 against Jake Peavy. I don't know how much that played a factor, but he had better at-bats tonight, didn't he?
You know, I talked about Austin Jackson in the newspaper today. I did an article for the Free Press, and I talked about Austin Jackson. If he wanted to get back to doing what he had done last year and at the beginning of this year, he needed to think about right field. 2-strike approach, choke up, spread out, do whatever you need to do, but you have to put the ball in play. Austin Jackson has outstanding hand-eye coordination, but he wasn't displaying any of that during the course of the ALCS. He got back to the basics. He put the ball in play. He was unselfish by driving the ball the opposite way twice and also 2 base hits. Outstanding job today by Ajax.
Mario, we've talked about leadership. Torrey Hunter hasn't hit in the leadoff spot since 1999, 2000, depending on where you want to look. It's 2000 where he did it 3 times, I think, during that season. He really kind of set the tone early, don't you think? And he talked to us before the game about having a different approach while hitting at that spot.
Well, that's why Torrey Hunter was brought here. I mean, he's a leader, and I think these are some of the things that leaders do. They have the intangibles, and Torrey Hunter has the intangibles. He gave the team a little bit of a spark at the top of the lineup. They desperately needed it here tonight. Torrey was able to step up, and, you know, he wasn't having a great postseason, but he had that big hit in the 2nd inning.
Mick, a lot of people were leaving early. Now it's hard to get them out of the ballpark because they don't want this night to end. Fortunately, we got another one tomorrow night. Back to you.
Understood, guys, and we'll see you again in just a few minutes there from Hockeytown Cafe. But from Hockeytown, we take you back to the scene of Game 4. John Keating joins us from inside Comerica Park with Victor Martinez.
All right, Mick, thanks. A couple of hits. You scored a run. First of all, put this win in some perspective. It's 2-2. It's best of 3 now against the Red Sox.
It's definitely a great win for us. And, you know, we just came today ready to play baseball, you know, like we always do. You know, game today is over. Turn the page again and come back tomorrow ready to play another game.
You had the first hit in a 5-run 2nd inning. How much did that allow your team to just take a big, deep breath?
Well, I think it's always good when you got the leadoff hitter on board, and I was just trying to, you know, to put good at bat, and like I always say, trying to put good swing. When you put good swing, anything can happen.
Do we make too much of the lineup change?
I don't know. I mean, we
seem to give you a spark, right?
We still got to go out there and execute and put good at bats and put good swings. It doesn't matter what the skipper does with the lineup. It's on us. We got to go out there and put good at bats and make things happen.
You had 3 walks in that. Your team had 3 walks in that 2nd inning. How important was patience against Jake Peavy tonight?
Well, he definitely didn't bring his A game, you know, and we noticed that right away. And we're making sure that he threw strike. And when he did, we just, you know, trying to put good swings.
Enjoy this one. We'll see you tomorrow.
Nice.
There's Victor Martinez. Mick, back to you.
All right, John, thank you very much. Much more from John from the ballpark as we get going here on Tigers Live. Up next, we'll show you all the Game 4 highlights. The offense showed up tonight and provided big time. We'll also head into the clubhouse to hear what the Tigers are saying after this one. Jim Leyland's post-game press conference on the way as well. Find Walter to come in to score to make it 2-0. Next up, your leadoff man, Torrey Hunter, sends a shot down the 3rd baseline. Alex Avila comes in to score from 3rd, and then Iglesias. This is what speed on the base pass will do for you. He scores all the way from 1st to make it 4-0. It's a 2-run double for Hunter. Your number 2 hitter will pick him up. Cabrera promptly singles to center to score Hunter. The Tigers build a 5-0 lead off Red Sox starter Jake Peavy. Meanwhile, Doug Fister was following in the steps of the Tigers starters before him. 2 more strikeouts in the 4th to give him 5 in the ball game at that point. To the bottom of the inning, Tigers crank up the offense again. Omar Infante leads it off with a shot over Daniel Nava's head in left center, bounces over the fence for a ground rule double. Ajax comes up again, sends a shot to second, goes off Pedroia's glove. Infante comes racing around and will come in to score. Ruled a hit for Jackson. His 2nd RBI of the night makes it 6-0. Jackson would get sacrificed at 3rd, and then Miggy picks up another ribby. A single back up the middle plates. Jackson, his 2nd RBI of the night, made it 7-0. Fister would give up a run in the 6th, but that's all he'd allow on this night on 8 hits and 6 strong innings of work. All right, that takes us to the 9th. They bring on Joaquin Benoit to close it out. After giving up a run to make it 7-3, he was facing David Ortiz with 1 on and 2 outs. Oh, not this time, Poppy. Benoit gets him to fly out to right to end it. 7-3, your final. The Tigers even the series at 2 games apiece. Prince Fielder, the only starter that failed to reach base on a night with the offense going to life, 9 hits and 7 runs for the Tigers. Austin Jackson, how about his night? 2 for 2 with a run scored in 2 RBI. The shakeup certainly seemed to be what the Tigers needed, at least for this night. You know, the Tigers came into Game 4 averaging just under 3 runs per game in their 8 playoff games. That was a far cry from the 4.9 runs per game they averaged during the regular season. Then they put 5 on the board in the 2nd and said, there's your 4.9 per game right there. Alex Avila now has some things to say as well as we send it back to John Keating.
All right, another great start for another great Tigers starter. From your perspective, what did Doug have tonight?
Real good sinker, good fastball working, and really his changeup was a big pitch for him today. Had some good success with that, and you know, with him being able to mix in all of his pitches like he normally does was key. He had a great curveball working today, and you know, just a good mix of everything.
When you guys saw the lineup in the clubhouse, what was the reaction?
I mean, it's a little strange, you know, with Jackson not leading off. You know, I don't know if it had anything to do with scoring runs today, but, you know, AJ got a couple of hits, which is good to see. I mean, he's been having good at-bats, just a little tough luck. And, you know, everybody knows he'll you know, be fine and have good at-bats. And it was a little strange, but, you know, obviously you got to go out and play.
Anybody say anything to Torrey? He hasn't led off since 1999.
I didn't know that. I mean, I don't think anybody said anything to him, and it was just all right. We'll see what happens.
All right, you're 2-2 with this team. Game 5 tomorrow. How important is that with 6 and 7 in Boston, if need be?
Every game's important. I mean, you know, no matter where you are as far as the series, every game's important.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alex Avila, a big part again of a Tiger win. We're 2 apiece in the ALCS, Mick.
All right, John, thank you. Of course, all the big news prior to Game 4 was Jim Leyland's decision to move Austin Jackson down to 8th in the order, and they move everybody else up. At least for tonight, that seemed to be the elixir that Jackson needed because he responded.
It definitely took some pressure off Austin Jackson. Listen, guys, this is pressure baseball right now. It's playoff time, and when you've struck out 18 times, trust me, when you go to the batter's box, you're trying to make contact. You want to get the job done, Mick, but sometimes it gets in your head and you start trying to do too much. Well, I love what Austin Jackson did. He made some really good adjustments. If you watch his at-bats today, he was able to slow the baseball down. And what I mean by that, how do you slow it down? Well, the way you slow it down is with your timing, making sure that you get your front foot down in times with your hands back where you can see the ball and react to it. And then once he started to swing the bat well, we knew that he would cause havoc once he got on base because he is the catalyst for this team. He makes this team go. But I really want y'all to look at this swing right here. Look at the top hand. Austin Jackson and Torrey Hunter's been in the batting cage, and I love this smile here. Big brother telling little brother, I love it. Because these guys have been in the batting cage. They have been working timeless hours, working on Austin Jackson being more short and compact to the ball with that top hand. Today it paid dividends, and that's why the big brother gives him a big smile saying, that a boy.
Yeah, it wasn't just the 2 runs batted in. He also got on base, stole a base as well, drew the walk, more patient at the plate. As we've said all along, that guy can still be a catalyst for the offense, even if he's not leading off, as you see tonight, and out of that A spot.
You know what? I like him down there in the A spot. I felt like it took a lot of pressure off Austin Jackson. I thought he got a chance to just kind of relax and not feel that pressure when you're that first batter coming out when the game starts, especially at the bottom of the inning, and you just seem to put pressure. You've been striking out. You've hearing everybody talk about you not making good contact. You're not swinging the bat well. Well, today was a day where Jim said, you know what? I've got to make a move. He sent them down to the bottom in the 8th hole, and he was able to have some success. That's what you need at time to kind of take that pressure off.
It worked tonight. Any reason not to do it again in Game 5? You keep him down there, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. I think you have to keep him there, Mick. If you're going to score runs and swing the bat the way the guy swung the bat today, then let's just leave it like it is right now.
You know, it seemed to work for everybody. Hunter had a good night.
Yes.
Cabrera had a good night. We'll talk about those guys as we get going here on Tigers Live. Much more talk about the Tigers offense when we come back. Hey, we got to get it out of our system. It's been a while, but we can't forget about Doug Fister. Well, another strong outing from him tonight. We'll hear from the Tigers starter when we come back. We'll also take you back down to Hockey Town and bring you more from the clubhouse when we continue from the Coliseum. He's now 3-2 all-time in the postseason, and he joins John Keating now for tonight's Toyota player interview.
All right, Mick, thanks. 6 innings. How much did you have left in the tank tonight?
I felt good. You know, obviously you never want to come out of the game, but it was a good timing. We were able to, you know, finish things the way we did and, you know, leave it to the bullpen.
Was your curveball the biggest part of your success tonight?
I think so. I think it, you know, I started throwing it earlier in the game than normal, and it was one of those things that it kind of kept them off balance, and so I kind of stayed with it, and luckily it worked for me tonight.
You're so even-keeled. Can you wear some pressure when your team is down 2-1 in an ALCS?
You know, I don't think we looked at it as pressure. We've been in the situation before where we've been down, we've been, you know, backs against the wall. We got to come out fighting. I think tonight we said, you know what, we're going to come out, we're going to play loose, play hard, and come out attacking.
But not so much we. How about you as the starting pitcher?
You know, it's the same thing. You know, it's going out there. It's not going to change anything, whether it's we're up 3 or down 4. You know, it doesn't matter. We're going to go do the same thing. So it's just a matter of trying to stay within myself and you know, stay with the game plan.
Congratulations. Enjoy
Thank
this
you very much.
There's Doug Fister, the starter and winner for the Tigers tonight, Mick.
All right, John, thank you. For more on the Tigers' Game 4 win, we head back to Hockeytown to Matt, Rod, and Mario. And, guys, the one constant for the Tigers this postseason has been pitching, and Mr. Fister didn't allow for any drop-off tonight.
You know, Mickey, it's really difficult to follow Anibal Sanchez, Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, but Rod, I think Doug Fister needed to be that proverbial bulldog. You guys talk about it a lot during the regular season. He needed to be that bulldog, and he was tonight, wasn't he?
No doubt about that, Shep. I had a couple of people from Boston come up to me today and ask me the scouting report on Fister, and I told him he's going to throw a lot of strikes. The fastball is going to top out at about 92. He's going to work both sides of the plate. He's going to have a really good curveball and an outstanding changeup, and he's going to keep the hitters off balance. If somebody gets on, they're not going to steal a base against him because Fister is that good. When you can go east to west in the strike zone, and you can work all 4 quadrants of the strike zone with your fastball, as Doug Fister can do, and then once you get him looking for your fastball or your cutter, then you can throw that really good breaking ball. He had an outstanding changeup today, and he was also led beautifully by Alex Avila once again here tonight. Doug Fister not as impressive, as you mentioned, as Verlander, Scherzer, and Sanchez, but it doesn't matter. He got that victory, and they needed to win.
Yeah, he got that victory. They needed the win. And when you think about one of the big at-bats in this ballgame, for me, you go back to the 3rd inning. The Tigers had scored a couple of runs. In fact, they scored 5 in the 2nd inning. And all of a sudden, well, the Red Sox were trying to come right back. They put 2 men on in the 3rd inning, 2 on, 2 outs, and who's coming to the plate but Big Papi? This guy is 5th all-time in RBIs in the postseason. You start to get a little bit concerned. Well, Papi ran the count to 2 balls and no strikes. Alex Avila goes out, has a quick conversation with Fister, and after that, a fastball, a swing-back fastball makes it a 2-1 count. Breaking ball makes it 2-2. And then all of a sudden, after a fastball up and in, he gets another breaking ball down there to get Papi to roll out 4-3. And the threat is over, and you can breathe a little bit easy because as pitching coaches talk all the time, you want that shutdown inning after you give up 5 runs or get 5 runs. You certainly don't want to give anybody any runs back to the opposing team, and I think Fister did a great job of shutting them down.
Guys, you talk a lot about healthy rivalries within this staff. Doug Fister is one of those guys, even though he's quiet, he's as competitive as the other 3, don't you think?
Yeah, but he's also one of those guys that he walks to the ballpark. If we're close enough in any city in the downtown area, in the ballparks in the downtown area, Doug Fister will walk to the ballpark. He is very unassuming. He does not draw attention to himself. He could care less. All he wants to do is go out and pitch and win games for his baseball team.
You know, Mick, Mario and I needed Mario because of the math question. 27 innings for the starters, 14 hits, 3 earned runs, and Mario, what do we say? 42 strikeouts just 42? By the starters. That doesn't include the bullpen. That's a really healthy sign as we look forward to tomorrow night. Back to you.
CMU guys not known for their math skills, Matt Shepard. Always good to lean on.
None of us broadcasters are.
No, absolutely. All right, much more from the guys at Hockeytown. We continue here on Tigers Live. Take it back to the ballpark next as well. Jim Leyland gets all kinds of flack when the Tigers lose. How much credit does Skip get for the moves he made tonight? Jim Leyland's post-game press conference next.
Probably, but you know, when guys get on like that, then you have to mix and match a little bit. You know, I was hoping Koki could get Ellsbury out. He was 1 for 11 off him going into that at bat. You know, he didn't get it, so we had to make some adjustments, and you know, we were fortunate to get out of it a little bit. But you just do as a manager what you think you have to do to win the game. You know, and that's what we did tonight, and that's what we've been doing all year.
Larry?
Jim, in the second, you talk about how your team took advantage of what was really a 4-out inning and the walks that you did draw.
Yeah, we did. But that's a sign of a good team. I mean, this game tonight was very significant, and you saw 2 teams. In my opinion, I think the 2 best teams are playing for the American League Championship. That's my personal opinion. And you saw how this is such a dangerous team. They just never quit. They got a bunch of veterans. Like I said, Oakland didn't have quite as many veterans, and they battled it and grinded it out. And now we're playing a team that's got more veterans, and they really grind it out, and they never think they're out of it. So, you know, my hat's off to them. They're very tough, and I think we showed tonight that we're tough too.
On the left.
Jim, talking about the lineup, I mean, Hunter hadn't batted leadoff since 2000. Cabrera hadn't been in the two-hole since 2004. How did you come up with this particular lineup, and who had some input? Was it just all your idea?
I was laying on my couch at home last night, watching the Dodgers and the Cardinals, and you know, I just kept thinking, because I didn't disagree with anybody saying we needed to do something. I felt like, you know, fans, members of the media, myself, coaching staff, probably the players, if the truth be known, I think something had to be done. And I don't want to sound like this had anything to do with it, but yeah, I thought about it, and long and hard. You know, some people thought it would just be maybe Kelly playing center field, but I didn't think that was the answer, so I thought long and hard about it, and this is what I came up with. This is nothing to do with Jim Leyland. This is about the players, and they executed. They came out. They played well. You know, it was really a good game for us, and Fisher was tough, you know, and we got through one. Then the bullpen did a good job. So, you know, it's very fortunate, and hey, the series is tied. You know, the only thing we know for sure is that we're going back to Boston.
As Jim Leyland said, it's about the players, but they responded to the moves he made. Of course, the Jackson move got all the attention, but, you know, not to be overlooked, Torrey Hunter batting leadoff for just the 16th time in his 17 Major League seasons. You were able to speak to him before tonight's game, and he was more than up for the challenge, wasn't he?
Oh, he was super excited. I walked down, and I get down close to the to the batting cage, and he has this big smile on his face. I go, "What's wrong with you?" And he goes, "Dude, I'm hitting leadoff." He goes, "I'm excited about it." He goes, "I'm going to go up there. I'm going to take some pitches and hopefully let the guys behind me see some stuff." He goes, "No, I'm not. I'm going to swing the bat. I'm looking to drive the ball the opposite way. See, I got to have a short, compact swing, and that's exactly what I'm going to try to do today. I'm going to try to stay square." But, guys, I have to tell you, I got a chance to get around the batting cage and watch these guys take batting practice. Not just Torrey Hunter, Austin Jackson, also Cabrera, Prince Fielder. All of these guys were really concentrating and really focusing on driving the ball the opposite way. They knew what Jake Peavy was going to do, and they knew that the approach they needed to take in batting practice would carry over in the game, and it did. He also told me that I was going to get this guy today. He'd been looking at some film and felt like he got back to doing what he was doing during the regular season. He was getting there on time, having that short, compact swing, and he obviously continued to show why he needed to be here in Detroit and be the leader of this team.
Well, hopefully for the Tigers, there's more where that came from in Game 5. All right, still much more to get to tonight following the Tigers' Game 4 win. You know else who had a pretty good night tonight? Miguel Cabrera, and not just at the plate. We'll hear from Miggy, and the guys check in once again from Hockey Town when Tigers Live continues. In with a call on the Tigers Radio Network. Boy, what a difference offense makes in a baseball game. Prior to tonight, the Tigers had scored a total of 6 runs in the first 3 games of the series, and 5 of those came in Game 2. Hopefully this wasn't just the occasional flare-up. Some form of consistent run production is going to be necessary if the Tigers are going to end up winning the World Series. And, of course, Miguel Cabrera plays a big role in that. 2 hits, 2 RBI tonight. Miggy talking to John Keating about it now as we take you inside the clubhouse.
Was it fun for you to be the number 2 hitter? So different.
I mean, we win. I think that's we have a lot of fun. So we need to come in tomorrow ready to play, trying to get run support.
What was the reaction in the clubhouse when you saw the lineup that Skip put up?
We already knew him before we get to the clubhouse. So.
Is this just the kind of effort this team needed, Miguel?
I mean, we need to win some games, you know, that's just all matter. It doesn't matter how Skip right in lineup. The more important thing is go out there, try to do our job. I think if everybody do their job here, we're going to be okay.
So you said that hitting number 2, you know, that he felt different hitting leadoff, and that it changes your mindset. Did it change your mindset hitting number 2?
No, because I'm not going to bunt, I'm not going to pin run. So go with the same mind, trying to get good pitch to here, trying to do my job.
You had a stolen base, though, tonight.
I mean, it was like count, like we stolen base. We know he's gonna throw out speed, so I got his timing and the cup.
After being shut out in the last game, how important was the second inning to score 5 runs on them, just to allow yourselves a chance to breathe?
I mean, I think we win today, so doesn't matter what happened yesterday. So we come ready to play today, and we need to come ready to play tomorrow and try to win tomorrow.
Well, a sold-out Comerica Park crowd tonight heading home happy. No doubt some of them stopping by Hockeytown Cafe to celebrate the win. That's where you'll find Mario Mpemba, Rod Allen, and Matt Shepard hanging out. And Shep, Miguel Cabrera's bat always gets a lot of attention, but he brought much more than that to Game 4 tonight.
No, I agree with you. He hadn't batted second since 2004. 8 times he had batted in that spot, had a couple of hits. Rod, in batting second tonight, he had a couple of hits. He looked a lot smoother, a lot healthier tonight, don't you think?
You know, one of the things that I took from Miguel Cabrera's batting practice today was the fact that he really wasn't trying to hit a lot of home runs today. He knows he's not really healthy from the waist down, so he simply took what he was given, and that was base hits up the middle. When you're a big, strong, physical hitter, you've already won an MVP, and you've won 3 batting titles, they're not going to give you a lot to hit, so you really can't force the issue, especially with the guy behind you not swinging the bat very well, and that would be Prince Fielder. So what Miguel had to do today was take a step back, make sure he got some really good pitches to hit, which he did, and he drove the ball right back up the middle. I mean, that's the biggest part of the ballpark, up the middle, the opposite way. Miguel does that with regularity, and I think he had some huge